So me and a bunch of my friends get together, clack dice, do big things. Uh, COVID edition, super awesome. We're continuing this until the people aren't worried anymore about anything, and we can all get back to our regular lives. Um, so, with that said and done, instead of a recap, because it was the fight with the Shadow Dragon and with Zaleria dying and everything else, there's not much of a recap. I mean, I could go blow for blow on the combat, but you guys all remember it. Unfortunately, Josh only sees it through the lens of Omega's eyes, which is, oh, that's a big ass shadow dragon. I'm going to fire 4 shots into that beast before walking up and seeing him carry off Zaleria. So, as you guys take her body back and you're sitting there mourning it in the greenhouse upstairs as the body's laid out, Big Sal will eventually come up and she's wearing her butler's outfit and she I you have visitors, my lords, ladies.
Visitor?
She nods. Shall I allow them access or tell
Who?
them this is a bad time?
Who?
A Saldana de Lee and apparently 25 of her people.
Did they say what this is about?
They said that it was about Zaleria. She wore clothes that have symbols like Zaleria's clothing had, for what that's worth.
Turth will get up and go meet him.
When you come down, you see about 25 people waiting on the foyer. They're getting their, it's right now. It's currently still sleeting outside, so all of their cloaks and overcoats are being taken by the gnomish girls who are like folding them over, and because they're twice the size of them. It's like carrying a huge rucksack, and they're taking it to the hearth and hanging it up across that. And you see a beautiful woman with like a almost perfect, like super thin hair, as a stark white, and she's talking to the ladies that are all around her, and they're all saying, "My lady," and she sees you and clears her throat. Bartholomew the Brave, I believe.
Yeah. That would be me.
She walks up to you, gets in real close. You think she's going to go in for some kind of a hug.
I just kind of go with it. Like, I don't try to push her away or anything.
Okay. She's going to go ahead, and she does, in fact, hug you. And she says, "Oh, you poor thing." And she will give you back. She'll give you back 18 health points. You feel her warm embrace in the hug, and it just suddenly you see this bright white light appears in her chest as she's hugging you. She smells very much like something between saffron, but there's something fruity about it in particular. But it's definitely like a saffron. She goes and you feel that glow, and she backs off, and you feel that warmth, and you look at her pale eyes, and she smiles, and she says, "My name is Saldana de Lee. I'm also known as Mother Ivory."
Heard a lot about you.
She smiles real meekly. She says, "I undoubtedly my student has spoken and given me far too many compliments. I'm but a simple healer, but of my kind, she was one of the best. I am so sorry to hear her falling in battle."
Turth just turned silently, and he at that point couldn't look her in the face. Like, feels guilty himself.
She looks at you, and are you trying to hide that fact?
No, it's just that's how I look.
She sees you go off, and she goes right next to your side and puts her arm around your shoulder and touches your other shoulder with her other hand, and she says, "My dear, it's an adventurous life she chose to help people like you. Doing well, please do not mourn her death. Her life meant so much more because of what you were, what you are, and what you will continue to be."
Tirth is just gonna be silent. He's like he'll nod and everything, but he's just gonna be silent, kind
Um,
of brooding.
Not to be about matters immediately, but I wish to have her body to take it back to Oponi, the site of her orphanage, or of the orphanage, where I take care of most of my people and where young Zaleria came to me to learn.
Haley will hear that she wants to take the body and say, "We don't know if that's what Zaleria would have wanted."
She gives you a cross look, kind of like a "Are you serious?" kind of a look. Like she shoots you one of those, and she says,
I'm not saying
"I
I'm not.
don't
I don't mean any disrespect. I just feel like Zaleria should be laid to rest how Zaleria wants to be laid to rest. We should find that
you."
out before we allow.
I believe that she says it would be understandable if she had some other wishes besides me taking care of her, but I do believe that I speak with some authority in saying that that would be pretty far fetched to believe that she would want anyone else to deal with her body besides me. Do you have any letters or anything?
Oh, not too long ago, she did give me some letters. I believe she gave them to Big Sal.
Sally.
Mandy, real quick, did you did you want anything to be done with your body besides Mother Ivory taking care of it?
She actually has that stated in her first letter.
Right, and I do want to get to that, but I need you to give me a little tidbit real quick.
Zaleria basically leaves her body and her belongings to the Godslayers.
Okay, so she does say that part, and she clears her, or she does look at you and she clears her throat, and she says, "There is those who could tend to her body and protect it and lay it to rest that me and my kind care about the most. It is." Hold on one second, guys, because I know you can hear all that.
Okay.
It's okay, look, we have to live life. Um, so she says, um, either way, if you allow me to tend to it, I will make sure that she gets the best treatment with the highest chance of success for her to not be tortured in a terrible afterlife for the sake of her murder. So it's up to you all and what you want to do with it, but I seriously doubt that a burial that, no offense, but a burial you could provide could compare with what all of us could for her. So again, I'm direct. But I wish to ask, may I have the body?
You have some time with her before you take her. We lost our friend.
She looks at you kind of appalled and she
We'd like to
says,
be able to say goodbye.
I understand, and that's what a funeral is for. You wish for the body to sit and rot any longer than need be? She says, at least let me see her to cast a spell to keep her from.
I just say we want to say goodbye. Not that we want to let her
And that, young
rot.
lady, is what a funeral is for. Yes, I'm willing to take care of that for you in a way that I doubt you're willing to spend the money for. You'll have to forgive me, but she was a student of mine for many more years than she's known you. And if you wish to hold on to her body while it sits there and give her the respect necessary to say goodbye in a non-proper funeral, I understand you may have your ways, but she stomps her foot. She says, I will tell you that me and my kind have come and helped you, Godslayers. We came in your hour of need, and we have only given you one request.
I will approach her and I will say, Mother Ivory, my name is Egida Ural. I belong to the Order of the Platinum Scale. Words
Sure.
of your deeds have spread far across the lands, and I am greatly honored to meet you in the flesh.
As well as the words and deeds of your order. And she offers her hand.
I'll grasp it, and I'll say, you make many valid points in this debate. However, it's not about what you want, it's not about what we want either. It's about what Zaleria would want, so before any major decisions are made, I believe we should read her letters.
She nods. So, my narrative for this is going to include wherever her body ends up, the person who is interning her. Okay? So, with that said and done, sorry, Landon. She will nod in almost in that kind of manner of like respectful appreciation. And she says, as you see fit. And she kind of looks about the place like, and she says, well, I suppose me and my order should get a hotel of some kind.
I'm sure we have space for you here. There's plenty of room. You might have to bunk up, but there's plenty of room.
We're used to
Zaleria
humble,
wouldn't want to make you guys comfortable.
we're used to humble surroundings, and your place seems lavish in comparison to what we've had to endure in the past. We greatly appreciate it. And she looks at Egida again and she says, where is your order currently? All
We are
around?
spread about. We're spread about. For the most part, we exist on other planes.
She nods. Your order's time with us is very beneficial, and just please, if you reach your superiors in any way, shape, or form, say that we would like to have more of your people join, or more of your people over, as the small amount of people that you have with me is not. Oh, thank you, Miss Sweet. The small amount of people that you have with me is it humbles us, but we would like to serve you greater.
I shall say so in my next prayers.
She smiles. So, well, like I said, I'm going to interrupt Mandy to describe some things, but first I'm going to draw a quick scene of there is Zaleria's body on a table. It's cold. These places are usually kept kept in like a basement, surrounded with cold things, placed on a huge block of ice. And her tabaxi body is rigid. Her tail is rigid, and you see that it is tucked off to the side. The audience would see her face is what's most terrifying, because dying as a shadow, the last moments a person has is filled with nothing but both rage and sorrow, as her face is somewhat in between a angry snarl, like a cat hissing, and a cat being scared out of its mind. Her face is something horrible to see. The person above the body pulls the cloak out a little bit and sets it up, walks up to the body and puts on what seems to be a butcher's smock. And you see the face, that horrible face of what Zaleria has turned into as her in her final moments of life. You hear a gentle voice say something along the lines of putting her to rest and making her beautiful for those who will protect or who loved her in life, so that they can say their goodbyes and to forgive her what she must do. The next thing that happens is the jaw. A terrified looking tabaxi is set in that hiss, that feral animal feeling of rage and anger. And this kind soul, puts her hands on either side, feels for it gently, and rolls her aside before taking a small hammer to break the jaw. It's the only way to close the mouth after a body has rigor mortis set in. The terrible snapping sound is almost followed with some revulsion, but a deep sigh of understanding that this is what happens. The mouth is closed, and then in small ways wired shut, in concealed ways below the flesh back here. As this person's going to work, you can tell that it's not done out of malice, but out of love, out of kindness, and respect. With that said and done, Mandy, will you please read the first letter?
Yeah. Hopefully I can do this pretty well. My throat's been kind of bugging me because I've had a sinus headache, and it's draining, and it's gross. Alright. To my dearest friends, I had never had a city to call home. To me, home was the fields between towns, the back of a wagon beneath the starry sky. It wasn't until I had met all of you that I felt this was a place I could actually call home. My time here has come to an end, but I want you all to know how much I valued and loved you. I cannot find the words to express how much I appreciate the joy you all brought me. Yes, there were hard times, but I wouldn't have wanted to go through them with anyone else. You all are amazing in your own ways. Please never change. Now for the hard part. My family's way of dealing with the passing of one is an odd one. We always kept a part of them, generally a small trinket like some jewelry. I know I don't have much, but please send at least one thing to my parents. There are letters already addressed to them. Along with the letters, there is a small box in my top drawer. It has jewelry from my grandparents. Please send that as well. It should stay within my family. The rest of my belongings are yours. Do with them as you wish. As a hero of Dathersport, I'm sure the city will want to throw some big parade or something. I don't care how the ceremony happens. I simply wish to be burned and my ashes put into the ocean. In the drawer with the box, you'll find a stack of letters, the top one addressed to Julius. Please burn those alongside my body. There are other letters addressed to specific people. I know in our battles there are chances more than one of us will die. You all are welcome to read any letters, aside from the ones to my parents. Please also do...
Sorry, Mandy, I told you I'd interrupt.
Yeah.
Where the narrative goes through and sees them finishing with the jaw, it's now the eyes. As they sit there, eyes bulge too much when a body's gone. Each eyelid is separated and opened ever so slightly with some gentle hands. It looks to be the hands of some kind of an elf, but the skin is a different color, almost the color of night. A small, almost melon baller looking thing is placed over Zaleria's eyes, where it takes both of them out. Her eyes are then filled with a small wooden block, or not block, but a small wooden eye to keep the contours in the shape, as the eyes are closed gently and then glued in place with a very primitive glue. Please continue, Mandy.
Also, please do take care of Dular. I doubt I'll get a proper goodbye with him. Please let him know I loved him dearly and he brought a great amount of joy to my life. I hate that... Ooh, sorry, I lost my place. I hate that this will be our goodbye, as I hope we could all grow old together. Please do not let my death hold you back. Have Vorig put my statue in Red Fountain Square with the others. Keep each other safe. With love, Zaleria. P.S. Dular likes to sleep in boots. Check yours in the mornings.
The next thing that happens is the tail itself. Being a rigor mortis tail, it has to be broken in several places, where a crude clamp is placed and the gentle hands go over in a small whisper of "I'm sorry" before each snap of a section of the tail to tuck it ever so gently underneath her body. Many of the other limbs were contorted as well as her hands in a vicious grasp of pain and anger. Each finger is individually pulled back until a snapping sound is heard, and her claws forced to retract, and in one or two cases, pulled. Please continue, Mandy, with the next letter.
Oh no, lost.
I muted myself, didn't I? Are we good now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Dear Tirth, this was the hardest letter to write. You were my closest friend, my brother. You had my back since the day we met and were by my side in every battle. Our victories have been many, and it makes me sad to think about the ones I won't be around for. All I ask is that you never change. Be the brilliant fighter you are. Keep our enemies on their toes. Don't let our friends lose sight of the goal and keep them safe. Who knows what shenanigans they'll run into. I know it will be hard to move on, but it's what you must do. Know that I will always be with you, Zaleria.
How does Tirth react to reading the letter?
Am I reading it myself at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna fold it up and put it in like a pouch on my hip that I have on my pants, and it's gonna stay there. And then he's gonna continue his little kind of like being silent, standing away from everybody in the corner, not in the corner, but like letting everybody else do what they're gonna do, kind of watching over everything.
As you're sitting there watching that whole thing and thinking about the whole thing, what is your favorite moment with Zaleria?
Gosh, it have to be flashback when we the group was first getting together. Her yelling at me for diving through a wagon that is on fire to save someone that ended up backstabbing us. But
As you sit there and think about those moments,
Turth gets up. It's like, what I do. And at that point, him and Zaleria knew, like, I'm gonna do stupid shit, so just get over it.
there's many a laugh over a campfire about those moments between you guys. And you remember the way that she always used to get a little bit stressed, but still appreciated everything you did. Who's the next letter to, Mandy?
The next one's to bottom.
Okay.
I did write these sort of like not in any specific order, so.
That's okay. I believe, like those letters in particular, anybody who voluntarily would want to read them. I mean, obviously, Mandy's going to be reading them, but is there anybody who would snoop through it?
Turth may,
Okay.
just to see how she felt about it.
Yeah, you never know when there's a request in a letter. So as you read it,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there reading it, please, Mandy, continue.
Dear Bottom, I never had much faith before, but you showed me what faith could do. It gave you strength and power beyond anything I had ever seen. I hoped to follow you and Nyx in your walk with Dialatus as a cleric, but fate had other plans. Keep on your path. People will see your strength and follow you. May we meet again, Zaleria. And he's gone. I know.
So as you're reading that and see that you remember the time that she got the statue ready for Dialatus. Think about it. When she got the statue ready from Dialatus and maybe had expressed to you guys like, look what I found, and you're sitting there looking at it and you remember the on him when he died, and you remember how he ascended, and you then think about Zaleria falling and how you've lost so many friends so far. You guys are filling Red Fountain Square rather quickly. Here's the next letter to, Mandy.
Next one's to Haley.
During this portion of her body, with all of it broken into place, you guys notice that there is nothing but scorched hair that looks like, in certain parts, underneath it there are black veins from the shadow taking hold. Gentle makeup will be placed over that. Some cases made from ash. And it looks like she's thickening the hair. The person who's taking care of the body is thickening the hair by placing almost a glued frocking in its place to make Zaleria look like she wasn't burned at all. Please read the letter.
Dear Haley, I know you started helping us because we paid you to, and you continued to help us because Valerie threatened and paid you. Despite all of that, I considered you a great friend. I do hope you'll stick around and guide the others with your brilliance. They'll need it. With love, Zaleria.
After reading that, how does Haley feel?
She feels like, for like the first time, she actually lost a true friend. she's always been a loner and, you know, pretty secluded. For once she actually found like feels like, you know, she kind of had a family and it's kind of fallen apart.
What was Haley's favorite moment of Zaleria?
She can't really think of one in particular. Like a favorite moment with Zaleria. But she certainly, you know, she's very thankful for the when Zaleria reincarnated her, no matter all the repercussions that it may have brought in the party. She's thankful that, you know, she was there to, you know, have faith that Haley could help the party in the future. You know, want to bring her back.
Okay, Mandy, who's the next letter to?
Next one's actually to Marzio.
Not surprised. Eventually, whenever Marzio gets this letter, he will read. Please continue, Mandy.
Dear Marzio, I regret that this is our final goodbye. I know you are off doing great things for the city, and I appreciate you taking the time to read this. I want you to know that I greatly appreciated you. Our friendship wasn't always the best, but I appreciated everything you did, even the stupid stuff. I will forever be grateful for the circlet you got to replace my necklace. If you can, please help my friends. They may need it. With love, Zaleria.
When Marzio does eventually read this, what is his reaction?
He would be deeply saddened. He may even be a little mad. But he also knows that he doesn't have anyone else to take it out on. So it's something that he's going to have to deal with himself.
Does Marzio have a favorite moment?
That's something I'd have to put some thought into. I haven't thought about the things Marzio has done in quite a few sessions.
Okay, that's understandable.
I'll interject later when I think of something.
No problem. Before Mandy reads the next one, so with the body taken care of as far as the skin's concerned and the bones and everything else, the minor things now must be done. The things that are not cosmetic. The draining of all of her blood, the removal of her organs. It's a slow ripping sound before the person opens it up to take them out. Who's your next letter to?
The next one's to Alazio.
Speaking of which, I thought of something. It was Marzio's favorite moment with Zaleria was her getting together with Alazio. Granted, he doesn't know that they've broken up yet, but you know, Alazio is a good friend of his, so seeing his two good friends getting together, you know, he was pretty happy about that. He actually kind of credits himself to it a little bit.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Aww. Well, I imagine eventually Alazio will read the letter. As you see that over a balcony that is moonlit, with a crowd full of people down below doing their normal things in Dathersport, running around and being vagrants. As the curfew bell chimes, you'll see the people disperse, and he sits there and takes a deep breath and opens up the letter. What does it read?
My dearest Alazio, I am sorry. I am so sorry that this is our goodbye, that I can no longer stand by your side, that we will not be able to make Dathersport our home and raise our children here. I had hoped to watch you make Dathersport into an amazing city. I never wanted to make a city my home, but I wanted to with you. I know the future is going to be hard. Losing someone you love is always hard. But please, don't hold yourself back because of my passing. Make Dathersport the great city I know it can be. Find someone who makes you happy and live your life with them. It will be hard, but please go on and be happy. For me. With all of my love, Zaleria.
And Alazio reading the letters, there are a few tears that are falling from his face. As he sits there and wipes them away, somebody walks in and says, "Governor, we have a little bit of an emergency here." And you see Alazio places the plague mask on that's very common of him to hide his tears. He looks down at the letter and he squeezes it in one hand and in a fit of anger, his knuckles completely white in his grip. And he says, Alazio promises, I will make Gathersport beautiful. I will make it perfect for us. And he turns to face the individual. Who's the next letter to?
It's the last one, and it's to Mickey.
Aww. As Mickey sits there in his hammock looking over at where the frog hemoth was, he sits there and you see that as he's sitting there kind of looking at a stack of tarot cards, his shadow itself seems to be moving completely on its own. He looks around as some people pass through and he sets the paper down to read it by the candlelight. What does it say?
Dear Mickey, I know we were not the closest, but you were a dear friend. Please don't shut yourself out from the others. You will need each other in the future. You are far stronger than you know, and they will need your strength. Please take care of yourself and the others. Love, Zaleria.
He takes the letter and looks around and sets it.
I will relay that to Jonathan when he gets home.
For sure. He'll set the letter over the candle and let it burn a little bit. And he has a worried look on his face. Again, what's most disturbing is in the background you see a shadow who's completely independently of him. As the last letters get read, by each individual in every single moment, everyone takes a moment to reflect on the good times of Zaleria by the campfires, the bad times, the times that she healed them, and the times that she cared in general, and the times that, unbeknownst to you, she saved you from Dular shitting in your boots. The body is now completed by the individual, being drained of all of its body parts and everything else. Makeup and everything else have been applied to what section of flesh looks burned. Bones have been broken and moved into place. She no longer looks terrified nor angry. She no longer looks tortured in her last few moments. The body looks calm, ready to make the next venture that it's expected to. There are 2 small silver coins that are produced and placed over her eyes before, in this room, on top of the block of ice, the last candle is blown out. With that, I suggest we take a quick break. I know it's a little early for a break, but drama sets mood, and we'll see where this takes us.
Scuttle is thoroughly upset.
Oh, Scuttle.
So with the letters, the Godslayers are standing there. It's up to you what you do next. The world's yours.
I'll address Mother Ivory and said, according with her wishes, I do believe she should be burned here and have her ashes spread in the ocean. I would welcome any protective spells you wish to cast over her, and I will assist in any way possible. However, I do think that her husband, Julius, who perished with her, will be able to provide adequate protection for her in the next life.
She says, blessed be.
Haley will thank Agna for interjecting with the confrontation that was going on between there. I wasn't trying to cause any confrontation. She just wasn't understanding what I was saying. I thank you.
All right. So what do the Godslayers do for the night?
I say we.
I am going to take Zaleria's letter to Julius, and I'm going to give it to Dular. And I'm going to tell him in Draconic, you need to protect this until the time comes to burn it with Zaleria.
It's actually a stack of letters about this thick.
I'm giving them all to Dular and placing them in his hoard with a gold coin.
He takes it greedily and looks at you, and you see ruffles his all of his scales go up a little bit and back down. He rubs up against you.
And then I'm also going to take Zaleria's letters to her parents, and I'm going to cast an alarm spell on them.
Cast alarm. The spells that you cast with Mother Ivory are the basic ones, the ones that keep corpses fresh for a little while, ones that just respite, things like that. All the basics. She should be safe and protected up here in the greenhouse. She says, Master Agata, thank you very much for your assistance with these spells. And she just kind of looks at you.
What, to me?
Yeah. She says,
I'm
Master
sorry, you cut
Agata,
out there. I didn't hear what you said.
That's okay. She said, Master Agata, thank you for your assistance in casting these spells.
Of course.
She was a prize student. I would
And
consider
a
her.
worthy friend.
And she smiles. I'm glad that she found such good company.
It's difficult to place value on any moment over another, but the short time I knew Zaleria, my favorite moment with her was when she first came to me.
And how did that go?
I was in the temple at my order, and she came seeking help, and my superiors selected me for the job, and not knowing anything about this person or what her goal was, I knew that my life was about to change. And
Sure.
I looked forward to the wind she put in everyone's sails.
She looks down, there's a small tear you see drops as she just turned away, and she looks at you and inhales deeply. And she says, well, it looks like you have some other friends to take care of as well. So I hope that we're all blessed with true friends. So anything else the Godslayers wish to do as they bed down for the night?
Tirth is gonna make some pies because he's like, I guess, rage eating
Oh.
at this point. I'm eating my feelings.
The girls can't keep up with your baking, like as they're trying to clean behind you.
Oh.
And then I just let everybody know. I was like, I made pies. And I take a whole pie up to my room and eat it
Oh.
myself.
As you go to bite into the pie, like all of a sudden it stirs and Dular's head pops out of it.
I just like pick Dular up and put it just stick him on my shoulder and eat around where he was.
He helps you. He helps you eat.
And I'll feed some. Yeah, I'll feed some to him as well.
He is a fat, happy little pseudo dragon.
But that's what Turk's doing before I go to bed.
Okay. Anything anyone else is doing before the night starts?
Haley's just gonna go to her office and just start looking through books.
Trying to keep your mind off things.
Yep, obviously she wasn't strong enough to help her there, so she's gotta, learn some more shit.
Strengthen your mind up. Be able to help the next one. Very respected. Anything Omega's doing this night?
I'm just gonna be watching guard over everybody.
Taking a look out and about. Nobody seems to approach the building itself for the longest time. But then, about what seems to be midnight, you see lots of people, various types that seem to be sort of Mother Ivory's order, approach the place with small candles and set them down. There's small drawn pictures of um, of Zaleria. There's small drawn pictures of Leon as well, as word of his
Oh.
passing has gone through, and pictures of Bonham as well. Little notes here and there that say things about loving the Godslayers and how they're a beacon in the world.
Leon was there for a short time.
And he hated it. He doesn't get recognition. What are you talking about?
So the people seem to have an attachment to all of them. There's a couple of the stuffed toys that people have made of the Godslayers, and lots of little Zalerias, and little Bonhams, and little Kusifs all around. The people do eventually start to make a chanting song, very somber, very much like the one I mentioned to you before the stream, about how every journey has an end. You just sit there in your robotic self seeing these people act this way, and something that you've seen for centuries, and just making nods to the
I'd imagine that you'd see a little halfling out in the shadows, slightly crying.
He's either making a smoothie or his character is making some sound.
I'm refilling the water pitcher.
It sounded like you were making a smoothie, and I just pictured your character like repairing a part of himself, like while you were thinking about the fucking powers up. But yeah, you see the behavior of all the humans and humanoids, and just a very different kind of thing than what you're expecting when your kind would fall in battle. So the night passes, everyone gets mark your long rest, kids. When the morning time wakes up, you notice that all of the gnomes seem to be a bit happier than normal. They're running around, and there's one that you saw that burned herself in the oven the other day, and she doesn't even have anything covering her. You see a small room that is kind of off to the side that Mother Ivory and some of her people are in, and they're tending to the small bumps and bruises that your people get into through their various mischiefs throughout the course of the day. And they seem to be happy and right as rain as they get back to work.
I'll walk down towards the kitchen, see the gnomes and all that, and I'll see what Mother Ivory helping them. They're helping the gnomes out, and I'll kind of knock on the door frame. Can I come in?
She turns, and the one gnome looks kind of embarrassed and shocked, and she's kind of they have a makeshift curtain that they kind of put up in different areas, and she clears her throat. Master Turf.
I'm just making sure everything's okay.
She says, yes, it's all very good. Young Delaney here seems to have been gifted with another life.
Turth will just kind of nod and be like, well, carry on. And I'm actually going to go out and feed the horses after that and tend to them, see how Big Sal's doing.
Yeah, you see him, and he's sweating in a gross, profuse manner as he's a overweight individual trying to take care of the horses. And you look at him, and he wipes the sweat from his brow. There's still just a mountain of more liquid pouring from his face, and he turns and smiles at you.
I asked him, how you holding up out here?
He says, it's good. Some of the horses are some of the horses are a little bit taken at the moment, and he points over and you see some of Mother Ivory's people are tending to the horses and healing some of their small wounds and everything else, hanging up different herbs that seem to get rid of horse flies, and
Okay.
one's coming in, and Big Sal rushes over to wipe all the sleet off of his body, make sure he doesn't catch a cold. He says,
Mhm.
I'm busier than I thought I'd be, that's for sure, but I'm thankful for the job.
We're happy to have you, and we appreciate the work you are putting in. I just want you to know that. And Turth will turn around and help him with the daily chores that needs to be done for the horses too, like the morning chores that need to get done.
Done deal. What's the rest of y'all doing this beautiful morning?
Haley's just now finishing her studies, so she missed everything that was going on there.
Like, probably fell asleep with a book in your hand and then woke up the next day and just kept reading.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Fell asleep with your finger where you needed.
You do have a blanket over yourself that you don't remember putting there. But other than that, everything's pretty status quo. Egida, how's your morning doing?
Well, I assume I'd wake up, dump Dular out of my boot, and then go down to the kitchen and get myself some breakfast and some for Dular as well. And if I see Mother Ivory, I'd like to discuss the school that Alazio put up and tell her that it's a wonderful facility. And if she has the time while she's in town, she should definitely check it out.
She says, I've set up a school of my own once. Maybe I'll see if this one stands up to our young lady. How is your estimation of this school? Is it well funded and educated?
It certainly seems to be. I glanced through their library, and there's a very large selection of books, many of which I had trouble understanding, which was difficult for me to realize.
I would be amazed, Master Agata, that you wouldn't be able to comprehend something. Men of your order are very oftentimes incredibly educated.
Yes, we are, but we don't know everything, and that's okay. What's not okay is an unwillingness to expand our minds.
And she nods. She says, I'll certainly check out the school, and if I come across any books that seem to challenge me, I could always read them over, see if I could compare some notes with you.
Of course,
If
that
that's
would
what
be
you
wonderful.
do. She smiles.
I'm always willing to learn more.
That hunger for knowledge and that humble nature of yours is one of the reasons why your order and mine always get along so well.
And I'm certainly glad that we do.
Dular spending a lot of time trying to like rest on your shoulders, and he breathes a deep sigh and kind of growls a little bit. And you look over at him, and he looks pretty unhappy.
I want to grab some meat and give it to him.
He'll chew on it a little bit, and then just kind of let you have it. Like, doesn't fight over it or take it. Snuggles in real closer to you, and you hear like a little vibrating sound.
I'll pet him.
He nuzzles in deeper when you do, and you notice his demeanor seems to get a little bit more picked up.
I just keep petting him.
Omega, how's your morning?
Well, I didn't sleep.
I didn't sleep because I don't have to.
So I guess I'm just gonna be
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling for these guys because the friend just died. I haven't really experienced that fucking years. So yeah, I'm gonna be kind of sad with them.
It's hard. It's hard for them to see because you don't have per se facial expressions, being a warforged. But as you sit there in your somber nature and look at all of them, you see and observe all these things. So Truth seems to be working slash eating through it. Haley's nowhere to be found, but anytime she passes through to pick something up, she's like got a book in her hand, and you see the thumbs like duck out of the way is like part for her essentially. She's just walking straight through. Um, you see Egida conversing a lot with Mother Ivory and tending very much to a small little dragon that they seem to have with a scorpion tail, and it seems to be really warming up to him. You see all these people acting in their various ways. Poor bounty hunter, no one thanks you for helping him take out the dragon. I'm just waiting for it, but no thanks. No, like, way to go there, sport. Way to blow that ammunition.
I assume we thanked him after he did it, after he walked back up, but we were just hightailing it away from the dragon that was dead.
I get it.
And after after Turth realizes the horses are, fed and watered properly, and he would take his time and brush each horse individually, and then he would go inside and bathe and get ready for, I guess, the ceremony we would have for Zaleria.
Which brings um, Saldana would say again, she says, so I know that you all want to keep her here, and I certainly understand that you wish to spread her ashes, and I'm of course okay with her last wishes, but I do think that we should intern the body, and I could take care of that and return the ashes to you. We could have the funeral here, of course, if you wish. It's
Haley's just not gonna say anything to her because the last time she said that she wanted to say goodbye to her friend, she got scolded by this person. So she's just like, you know what Zaleria wants.
so she looks at the rest of you in your silence and she says, so is that an okay?
I don't think her ashes should leave the city.
Oh, no. She made it very clear in her letters. I'm just saying her body needs to be taken and embalmed. And she looks over, like in the general direction of the greenhouse, and she says, the expression taken off of her and placed in a form of peace. And then she does need to be burned with appropriate rites. The funerary process is what I'm speaking of. I would like us to take her somewhere special for it.
What did you have in mind?
There is a temple not too far. I believe it's just on the outskirts of Hoar Lane, and she looks real sad when she even has to say that. She says there is a in between that and Wagon Way, I believe is what you call it. There is a very skilled individual that seems to have a particular knack for interring the dead. I wish to take her there. To pay for it as well, obviously, I insist. And then
I will accompany you there.
she smiles and nods. Absolutely. I hear this is
I
a
was
way
about
put
to
it.
ask if it's all right if we all accompany you.
By all means, please.
I look over at Omega. I'm like, you coming too?
I get up and say, if you'll have me.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go.
So Zaleria's body is placed on a palanquin again, this time with Mother Ivory's people at her back. It looks like they have a Tensor's floating disc cast to set her on. They will place rose petals down, place her body upon it, and then take it through the city. You guys see as people pass, the crowd parts for you, and you hear a lot of people yelling the whole like, "All hail the Godslayers!" and various cheers. We miss Bonham. We miss Zaleria. Kind of calls randomly. There's eventually you guys would notice that there's a constable that walks up to you and says, "Hey, excuse me, I don't mean to make a fuss or anything, given what you are and your current situation, but I gotta ask, what exactly is going on here?"
We're taking a friend to get embalmed.
Oh,
We're putting a friend to rest.
right. I'm sorry. You have a reputation, you see, and do some crazy things, and I was just making sure nothing crazy was about.
Yeah, I know crazy follows us, but nothing crazy so far.
He'll nod and back up a little bit and let you through.
I'll shake his hand as we go by, like a warrior's handshake.
He'll accept it. You see, if you all would make me a perception check, I'd appreciate it.
First roll.
Now we're
Right on, Perry.
15 plus 21 for Turth.
I got
Got a nat 1 for a total of 2.
I got a 9.
a 19.
Nice. So, Egida, as you're sitting there and you're looking, you suddenly just start looking at Zaleria's body laid to rest and everything, mourning and passing of a friend. So you're just too busy, like, kind of doing one of those, like, blissfully looking in the direction and feeling your mourning. Haley seems to be distracted as well. I'm going to blame a book being tucked kind of nearby. I'm not exactly sure, but she's basically unable to catch it. But Omega and Tirith have keen enough eyes to look off in the distance and see that there's a group of enforcers. They wear it's almost like a trench coat. It's a long coat that folds over on one side specifically, up to the shoulder, and then goes straight down. And there's a couple enforcers that are like kind of scowling the minute that the constable leaves. And the constable runs up to those enforcers, and you hear some slight arguing. But you guys are allowed to pass. When you get to
Turth
go ahead.
I said Turth is just gonna note that and let everybody know once we get to the facility, to the shrine or wherever we're going, to let them know what he had seen, because he doesn't want to alarm Mother Ivory's group. That makes sense.
Okay.
I don't want to bring too much distraction from what's really going on.
Okay. You guys eventually get used to the smell of the sensor that's being cast back and forth until you guys find, they spin a sensor in front of the procession. Once you guys finally get to it, it looks to be a small building. It might have been fashioned as a schoolhouse or something like that, but it looks like it's definitely been turned into a religious place. When you guys enter with the procession, there's an individual with a small set of rimmed glasses, really, really tiny glasses, that go across the bridge and then seem to stretch outward a little too much to fit his ear. Like the glasses don't necessarily fit. The individual looks like maybe they're sporting some kind of false teeth, but has kind eyes behind all of the wrinkles. And part of the temperature with the sleet and everything, he has a scarf around his neck and a top hat, but you can tell underneath the whole thing that he is definitely a priest of some kind, as he's wearing robes underneath the coat, and he as I live and breathe. And he walks up and he says, finally, first members of the church. Looks up and looks at you all. Welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
He smiles and he says, "What brings you in here? We're not having any kind of a mass at this moment."
We were told by
We've
someone.
come with Mother Ivory. She says you may be able to assist us with the embalming of our friend.
Oh, he says, "Not here for church services. I'm sorry, we just got this whole thing set up to be a different kind of church. Get it set up for the pantheon. Please, by all means, come in, come in." And you guys all, like, as you're going through, you see the place is fairly mud free. Your boots are pretty muddy.
I will actually take my boots off.
Yeah, I'll take mine off as well.
Seeing that, like, I'll take them off by the door. And
He says, surely if you're here for one of your fallen comrades to be taken care of, we've got just the person. I have a gifted young lady that has followed me from church a little bit further on in the east of Dathersport. But please come in, and seems to welcome you all. And takes one long look at Omega, and just like you see, like his jaw just kind of drops.
I kind of just shrug and like lean on the wall by the door.
as his jaws dropped, I'm like, yeah, he's as cool as he looks.
He gets in close to Perth and he says, "Is it alive, or is it?"
It's very much alive.
He walks directly on over to Omega and looks up, and he's kind of squinting with the tiny little eyes, and he takes his hat down and he goes, "I'm sorry, sir. I misunderstood, and my ignorance is unforgivable. Please, you're welcome in the church. Don't just lean against the wall. Feel welcome, like this is your home."
I kind of like get up off the wall a little unevenly. Churches aren't really my thing.
He nods and he says, "Do you want any food or drink?" Or he looks at you and looks you up and down and says, "Or oil?"
I kind of just smirk and shake my head, and I thank him, but I say, "No, I don't need any of that. I'm good."
Well, I'm just welcome. Know that we're all about diversity, and welcome to all of you. And Mother Ivy clears her throat and she says, I believe we're here to see Kalima." And he goes, "Oh yes, yes. I'm sorry. A bright young pupil. She's absolutely wonderful at these sort of things." Um, and then he'll kind of nod, and you guys proceed down a set of stairs, which sounds like a clomping of elephants. Because like you can tell this place is like under new renovation, like they're trying to fix it up. And as you go downstairs, you see a fairly dark room with slabs of ice, big, huge blocks, and a set of bodies placed on a couple of them. You see a body that's below you, and a little bit of blood just kind of spurts off to the side. Um, and then you look as the individual turns around, and will Kalima describe herself?
She's she's built like an elf, but she's only standing at about 5 feet. And her skin almost blends in with the shadows around her. She's very dark, kind of purple, and her hair's completely white. And she's got really pale lilac eyes. And she's got some markings on her face, most likely to deal with the rituals she's currently doing. Um, and she'll kind of pause and look at the group, and she'll be like, "Can I help you?"
Turth will say, we've actually heard you can help us. We have a fallen friend that we need to lay to rest. We need her body prepared for that ceremony.
Of course. She'll point to one of the empty slabs and just, she'll say, lay her there. Are there any specific rituals or rites that need to be done?
I look at Mother Ivory. I'm like, I don't know what you had planned, but I know she wanted to be burnt to ashes because Turth I don't think would understand cremated. I'm not saying I'm dumb, but I'm like I would have never used that word in my life. There's no.
Yes. Preparation for a funeral, a 2-day wake and then a funeral. A funeral pyre we will provide. So you just need to get the body prepared for those sort of things with all due respect. And she looks through, she pulls out a set of letters that all seem to be in Zaleria's handwriting, and she says, forgive me. And she looks through them and she says, any rights could be given for Dialatus. And then she looks around and says, and of course, our benevolent Lucentarius is always accepted in the churches, but Dialatus specifically seemed to be her indication, if you know anything about this god.
Would Kalima know anything about Dialatus?
He's not as dead as dreams, man.
Okay. Kalima will nod very slowly and she'll be like, I've never heard of Dialatus, but I will include the name in the prayers.
She nods and she walks over and hands you a sack of coins.
She'll take it.
So your starting equipment and everything will obviously be included in with this gold is kind of the idea. So I'm pretty sure for your level, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 700 to 1,000. Am I correct?
You gave me that information not too long ago, and I already have it written down and everything. I don't know what I did with my notebook, though.
It's quite a bit of money is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And would explain your character's starting gold. So she gives you the sack of gold, and she says, I've heard so much about your talents that I have chosen not to forego these rights myself. Despite her being close to me, I think it's only better that someone else does it, but specifically your talent is sought after from what I've heard. She deserves the best, and I can tell you're it.
I appreciate the compliment. You are welcome to help me if you really want to, if she is someone close to you.
She looks down at the horrified expression on Zaleria's face, and she says, taking care of the soul and the body are definitely something I can do, but I'm too close to this.
She'll nod and she'll be like, all right, then I will get started.
And she backs up and gets quiet.
Kurth is gonna go kind of to the front door. I'm gonna put my boots back on, even though I know it's sleeting outside. I'm gonna step outside, just kind of like on the I guess you say the stoop of the building, if it has one, and just kind of keep a watch and point, show Omega some things around the city, like from just pointing at him from the steps.
Haley will kind of like absentmindedly look up from her books and notice that Tirth had actually taken off his boots and was like, "Oh shit, I'm super disrespectful," and like cast prestidigitation on her boots, but keep them on.
Clean up the area and prestidigitation all the footprints that you've left through this place too.
Yeah.
Haley does the clean thing.
Well, it lasts for an hour, so I go through and just whatever.
Yeah. Clean up
To
the
my book.
Did Kalima notice this happen?
It's sadly they're upstairs when
Oh, okay, never mind.
Happening. But looking.
I mean, you might have seen some of the footprints when I went into the room. After I went into the room.
Yeah, like she basically be cleaning her boots and then walking up the stairs and cleaning it as she is going. So you notice that, yes, just not the upstairs portion.
Okay. She's just gonna kind of laugh and shake her head and keep doing what she's doing.
Before I grab what Turth and Omega are going to see with their looking out about the city, what is Egada doing?
I am staying downstairs. I am observing the ritual.
Now, most of the ritual will start very much like how our video started off with the. I imagine Klima is not squeamish, and if people are looking on, she continue. So the breaking of the jaw would be where it starts.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be the first time that somebody's like, I'm gonna stay and watch. Like, there are people who want to make sure the rituals are done correctly and all that other stuff, so she's used to being watched. And some people just don't trust her, so.
Right. So you begin the 12-hour process of preparing the body. Egada sits there and sees as she cracks the jaw and everything. So Omega and Turth, as you guys are outside, Turth is showing you about the city.
You said what? Sorry.
You said you pointed stuff out to him, so.
Well, as we're going there and everything, I would be explaining to Omega and Egada, locations of Davenport that we know, like Red Fountain Square, where Hoare Lane, like when we went by Hoare Lane, like what was there.
I'll probably point out my apartment. Oh, I wonder how it's doing.
And just so they're a little familiar with, what Davenport can be.
Duly noted. So, as you guys sit there and seem to wait, again, the process to enter in the body is a 12-hour process to do at least when it comes to Zaleria. You guys all stick around like that entire time and hang out while she works.
I'm just hanging out in the church, reading my book. I have no interest of trying to hunt down Alazio and, let him know what's going on and everything, because if he really cared, he would have done something to stop the dragon in the first place. And we wouldn't be in the situation, so,
Oof.
He'd been the governor he had appointed him to be.
Okay.
Turth is just going to, like I say, show Egada and all that, and then also with 12 hours, I'm going to think of what we need to do next. Like, what's our next plan of action and all that, and when all this is done, he'll bring it up to the group's attention. Like, this is what I feel we need to get done.
Well, we definitely need to figure out why the dragon was summoned.
Exactly. All this is done.
So as it goes through the course of the day, you guys see people are going about Deathersfort like usual, pretty much part of the course. Things do seem to be different. You notice that there's a lot less crime. You see a kid pickpocket somebody and walks up and like as the kid's running through the crowd, you're like looking, you're like, huh, okay, well we still have pickpockets. And then suddenly you will hear a pistol blast, and the crowd parts, and it looks like basically someone smashed a watermelon and put it where the kid's neck started. And you see an enforcer standing right above him with a smoking barrel, and he grabs the coins and walks over to the individual and hands them the coins.
So he just straight up killed that kid?
Yep, the kid looked to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 years old.
Oh no.
It looks like the enforcer shoved the gun in his face and pulled the trigger in one fell swoop.
What a savage.
Other than that, you guys won't notice anything else that's too incredibly strange, and except for the people who are outside, if Tritholomew and Omega will give me a
The kid died because I
What
was
do we-
totally gonna give the kid some money.
Oh.
What do we need to do?
It's something, but he walked away.
Perception check, I think, is what he said.
yes, ma'am.
That's a 16.
Well, 16. 16.
16 for both of you. You guys will notice that an individual that's wearing similar cloaks to the individuals that was on the rooftops does walk by in the crowd.
What'd you say?
Couldn't really hear you. Keep on cutting in and out.
An individual that's wearing the same kind of cloaks that the individuals are wearing on the rooftops of your battle last night does walk by.
I look
Turf
over at
is
Turf and
going-
I ask him, "Do you know who they are?"
I don't know who they are, but I'm very interested in finding out who they are. As I'm
Me too.
walking away already. And I'm going to catch up with this guy. And I'm going to say, hey, do you have a minute to talk?
The gentleman turns around, and as you're approaching, it looks like he's always looking over his back. You start to walk up, and when you call out, he sits there and looks just a little bit panicked, and he will go ahead and duck down an alleyway. As you're running after them, what's Omega doing?
I've been following Turf the whole time.
Okay. And the rest of your
As he
party-
cuts out this alleyway,
Do it.
do what Turth. Okay, Turth is actually just going to chase him. Turth is going to chase this guy down the alleyway.
Great. Make me an initiative roll.
Oh no.
Doing what Turth would do.
Omega, if you make one for me. as
Oh
well.
my god. Gotta love that advantage on initiative.
Ugh.
I know, right?
I
It's
got a
amazing.
29 for initiative.
Damn.
I got a 22.
Jesus Christ, guys! So you start booking it down this alleyway, and the individual like looks back and kind of lets out a ah! as you guys all start running down. As you guys give chase, are you gonna chase at full speed?
I'm gonna chase at full speed until I catch him. Yes.
Okay, that'll be fun. So you spend your action to dash, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes Omega. Are you doing the? What are you doing?
I'm doing the same thing.
Okay, full bore. Good.
I'm bolting / running through whatever I need to.
Awesome. Good. Let's see. So he's bounding full, which is fun. So that's turn one. You guys are booking it. No complication. Okay. Let's double check. Okay. So as you guys start running, he seems to take off at full speed. You guys start taking off at full speed as well. He runs down the alleyway and it opens up into another set of streets. He real quick interacts with the object and will pull someone's little fruit stand. He'll pull the top of it and it sends a whole bunch of stuff your way. Omega, what do you do in reaction to that?
Mm. I guess I'm just gonna try to try to jump over them.
Awesome. Make me an acrobatics check.
It's a 17.
Nice.
As all the fruit comes colliding down, describe your victory.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna like I'm gonna see like a box that's like right next to the stand. I'm gonna jump on the box. I'm gonna jump over the fruit.
Parkour.
Nice.
Parkour.
Big inspiration. Terry, Bartholomew runs into a very similar problem. All the fruit and everything else fall to the ground. Omega jumps off of a box and seems to crush the box on the way up. What do you do to avoid
All
this?
right. How far is this fruit spread?
It's pretty much across the entire alleyway, about 15 feet.
All right.
Various
Turtle's
fruit.
just gonna long jump all of it. He's just gonna jump over all of it.
Classic Turk fashion. I believe with your strength, you should be just fine on that because your long jump is 17 feet, right?
It was 27.
It's 27 feet if it's the amount of my
That's
strength.
fucking dumb. So he goes across it, half orc style. He keeps running and he screams out, "Quit chasing me! You guys are gaining on him. You will get him next turn for sure, unless you guys, as you're running through, a beggar blocks your guys' way.
A what?
A
A
beggar.
beggar comes out and immediately starts going, "Please, please, money for the poor!" As he goes right up. I believe that it's Omega's turn first.
Can I just truck him?
Yep, make me an athletics check.
That's only a 13.
Against a beggar, I think you're still gonna clean his clock.
Yeah, describe for me, because if you give it up to me, he's going to turn to a thin red mist. So describe to
Okay,
me.
so as he comes up to me, I'm just gonna grab him by the arm and just kind of push him Assassin's Creed style.
Nice. You do so. You shove him completely out of the way. He hits the wall next to him, and he goes a little cross-eyed as you guys flee past. Like, basically, this chase scene was pretty easy. You guys nailed both those checks. Could have been a lot more interesting, but you guys are bosses. Turk, all of a sudden, you see there's a beggar in the way, and then Omega just kind of shoves him aside, and you go clean through and everything. You guys are catching up, and he says, "I said stop chasing me! Stop chasing me!"
Turth is like, you're the one that ran. We just wanted to talk.
And as you guys are running up, you want to describe how you grab this guy?
If we catch up to him at the same time, I'm literally just gonna grab his shoulder and spin him around.
He's spun around completely.
And then I'm gonna grab him by his arms so he can't go anywhere else.
He looks like he's semi-restrained. Go ahead and make me an athletics or an acrobatics check.
I want to.
At advantage, as you both charge up this poor guy.
I already had advantage with athletics. That would be a 32.
All right. And then Omega, what did you get for yours? We'll have you roll a separate one.
Okay. You said athletics?
Or acrobatics.
It's only 12.
So he kind of shrugs off Omega a little bit, being like, "What the fuck are you?" And then you kind of pin him down a little bit.
And I ask him, at this point, I'm like, Were you on the rooftops the other night?
What? No. What?
Who are you?
Mm. My name is Mum-ass.
Bum ass.
No, ass.
What'd you say,
Oh.
dumbass?
He looks at you, real confused and paranoid, and you see he's got like a clean-shaven face and like kind of thinner features and panicky eyes, very much like the actor that plays Sean in Shaun of the Dead. I forget what the actor's name is.
Okay.
Simon Pegg.
Sean.
Yeah, he looks very much
Yes,
like
I-
that. He looks kind of all surprised.
I ask him, who are you with?
He looks around and he says, "No one. What?
Insight check.
Please make it for me."
Hmm. 18?
An 18. It looks
Yeah.
to me like he is telling the truth, that he doesn't know what you're getting at.
Kim, if there's, I don't know how else Turth would do this besides throwing him. Um,
Um, I'm not with anybody. I don't date. What do you want from me?
oh, you're a eunuch.
Is it like a robe that he's wearing that's similar?
Mm-hmm.
I ask him about his robe.
He looks at you real funny and he says, "Someone gave this to me and paid me 5 gold to walk down the street.
Sounds like a diversion to me.
He said to make sure that I made eye contact with you." Yeah.
All right. Turth is going to rip the robe off of him
Damn. Disrobe him.
and walk away. That's all I needed to hear.
We're gonna pause that. In the meantime, Egida, Haley, you guys are sitting there. You're waiting. You're reading. You're observing. Everything seems pretty calm. You guys will hear all of a sudden at the front. You'll hear the individual is, "Well, I'm welcome, first members of the church, welcome," and you'll hear someone kind of yell, "Shut up!" and you hear him tumble to the ground.
Uh-oh.
You'll perk up. And pretty much immediately cast mage armor on herself. Cause she don't trust shit. She knows bad shit follows the Godslayers and we're fucking doomed. And then kind of peek around the corner to try and see what the fuck is going on.
You see a group of 5 enforcers in the main lobby.
I'll ask him why the disturbance when we're trying to put our friend to rest.
He nods. He picks up the man. Then the guy's top hat falls off, and he still has his scarf. And the enforcer takes a pistol out and clicks it back. You notice it's a beautiful silver pistol. It's very similar to people have been calling them Bowmaid. Basically, it's an individual that used to be part of Dathersport, made a bunch of really, really nice guns. And they usually had some signature marks. This individual happens to have one of these. And
I'm gonna walk over to them and touch the guy.
not any further, okay. I blow his head off.
What is the meaning of this disruption?
Get everybody up here. I'm an enforcer. I ask the questions. I don't answer them. Get everybody up here. I paint the walls with him. Okay, you now have 2 seconds.
I will call for everybody to come here.
You yell down there for them. How do you go ahead?
I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna send a message to Egada. Be like, something's about to go on here. Get everybody up here as quickly as possible.
I'll relay that message to Kalima and say it may not be safe here much longer. We should probably go upstairs.
She'll look a little confused, but she'll nod and she'll kind of stop what she's doing, wipe her hands on a rag, and go upstairs.
I'll walk in front of her.
As you walk up the stairs, you see the same scene. Haley looks red around the ears.
I'll say, what is the meaning of this?
He says, I'm the enforcer. I don't get asked questions. I tell people what to do and then listen.
If you
Kalima,
are so eager to learn, then go ahead and ask.
Kalima is
He's
gonna
good.
step forward though. She'll be like, please, this is a holy place. There is no need for violence. Please let the priest go.
He says, holy only matters if you believe in a god, right? And he sticks the gun in the priest's mouth. You know the priest to be, his name is Dolan.
Dolan?
Dolan.
Okay.
And he sticks the gun in Dolan's mouth, and Dolan looks panicked.
I'm gonna
He
cast
says,
dancing lights to try and distract him so that he doesn't pull the trigger.
cool. Good. That's a neat trick, Amanda. That's my save.
Again, this is a holy place. We are trying to put our friend at rest. What is the meaning of this disruption? Do I
What is
have to
dancing?
call your boss down here?
What's my save?
For dancing lights? I mean, it's just a whole bunch of lights that dance around.
Ah. Okay, and then you say all that.
Yes! I'm trying to
I'm
distract
going
him from pulling
to.
the trigger.
That's a deception.
I'm gonna
check.
misty step right behind him and grab the gun and say, "How dare you bring violence into this place?"
Awesome. Let's go ahead and roll an initiative, and if you win the initiative, he doesn't get his head blown off. Lena's got a big smile. 2.
Oh, yes!
Nice. All right, you misty step. I believe it's a grapple attempt at this point.
enough technology to actually have a +4 base speed bonus. So for everybody else, there still is a lightly
You're fucking gross, Landon. Describe how you like. He sits there in the dancing lights, like make him like kind of shirk away a little bit. He's hearing all the parts about his boss, and then all of a sudden you're behind him. Describe the rest.
I mean, I did. I grab his arm that's holding the gun.
You're holding it up.
Yeah.
He sits there and he's holding it as you're like pulling it away and everything. And you said the part about this being a holy place.
I said, "How dare you bring violence into this place?"
He sits there with the gun up in the air, and he says, "You'll see all of a sudden, you hear like a firework outside." And he looks down and looks at you and he goes, "You know what? You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. You had me by the balls."
You said you'd be the one asking questions, so ask.
He looks around for a brief second, gets a big smile, and he says, "Are you part of the Godslayers?"
Recently,
He gets a big smile. The question I wanted to ask is, can I have your autograph?
Get out!
He uncocks the gun. He uncocks the hammer.
Get out now! This is a holy place. Your behavior is inappropriate. Get out of my temple.
I understand. You gotta have the lizard let me go though.
She'll
let
look at
me
Egida.
escort you.
Whoa.
I want to do an insight check.
Make an insight check. Landon, you get full reign of how you want
Fucking 20.
Yes!
This man is very pleased with himself. Whatever mission he had, he definitely accomplished. He seems sure of himself and happy with the situation. Egida, please.
As Egida's escorting him out.
I twist his arm to where he can't move. It's stuck behind his back, and I'll very forcefully
uncle.
move him. I'll forcefully move him out, just barely faster than he can walk. So he's kind of, sort of tripping along the way,
Get an inspiration.
and then give him a light little toss out the door. Not enough to make him fall down, but enough to where he feels it.
The other enforcers, one of them will kind of snicker a little bit, and they help him up. And he dusts himself off, and he bows good day to you.
I'll turn to Kalima and say, please continue your work.
Kalima's gonna make sure. I forgot his name already. The priest.
Oh. Delon?
Delon. She'll make sure he's okay.
He's frantic about himself, and why did he? And he looks at you, and he wraps his arms around you in a great big friendship hug. And he says, "I thought for sure my life was over, and I didn't know why. I'm prepared to die, but why?"
She'll hug him, pat his back and everything, and she'll be like, "The spirits have smiled upon you today, and today is not your day. Those men are nothing but brutes."
Just so violent. He nods and he walks over to Egida and shakes your hand. "Bless you, child. Bless you." And he walks over to Haley and offers a great big hug.
I'll hug him back. I also say, I think he accomplished what he came here for, though I'm not exactly sure what it was.
Well, what in the world?
Don't think that
you look
like I
When
said,
I heard that,
don't.
Hold on, go ahead, Amanda.
I was gonna say, like I said, I don't know what that was. I'm not sure you were meant to die. Probably was something for us.
Now,
Go ahead.
you said I heard a sizzling and a pop.
Yeah, like a firework
Where did-
went off outside.
Where did I hear that coming from? Outside?
Yeah, kind of like the back of the church.
From the back?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell Haley to stay here, and I'm gonna go around back and check
Okay.
from around where I heard that noise.
I'm gonna hold on a second before you go.
Kalima's just. Well, no, she's got a question before, but I'll wait till Amanda's done.
What's your AC?
My AC?
Yeah.
22,
Okay, never mind then.
but I boost it in many ways.
That's okay. I was gonna give you mage armor, but it wouldn't affect it, so never mind. I'll just be safe.
What was your
Agate-
question, Kalima?
Are you guys actually the Godslayers?
Yes.
Part of
Part of them? And she'll nod and
this.
she'll say, "I'm very, very sorry for your loss. The city has lost blah, blah, blah. The city has lost a great hero." And then she'll go back downstairs to continue what she was doing.
As Egada goes around the back, you notice a small place where there was a firework. Obviously, was set off here. You can see the scorch marks on the ground. You notice that there is a burn line of ashes that go to a small hole about maybe like the size of a nickel. It looks like somebody pushed a copper tube down into the dirt. And the ashes lead to that.
Does that go into the basement of the church?
Looking at it, it probably does. It's a little further past, like about 25 feet to where you saw the basement.
Where's Mother Ivory? Because she was with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, where is she?
You don't see because you're checking the back. Haley, you walk in and you see Mother Ivory sitting there. She still has her hands up, as well as all do her people. Because when they were asked to come upstairs, they all did, and it looks like she's like expecting it to still be a stand hold up.
I think the danger up here is gone. I think some of us should keep watch up here with me, but you should send some of your party to help Egada.
She
I
nods.
actually want Haley to come out. I'm gonna call out for Haley. I'm gonna say,
Okay.
Haley, come look at this.
Okay. Keep an eye out here, please, guys, and I'll come with you.
She says, "We cherish peace, but we're no stranger to war." And her and the girls all just kind of like seem to like toughen up, like they're ready for something. You run around the
Okay.
back and you see Egada.
I'll nod to them, and then on my way there, I'm gonna cast message and say, Tirth, I don't know where you are, but you might want to get back here as soon as possible.
Don't you have a talking coin?
No, I have message as a spell. So he heard that in his head. He can respond if he wants.
Okay.
You can respond to me in my head.
So I would assume the message is like very like sounds like wind is flying by because I'm already running back. Like after I ripped the cloak off, I had already started booking it back. And the message is gonna be like, on my way.
So when you send the message, you come back. You see when you send the message, you come back and you see Egada standing around some ashes in a small copper tube.
And I'm gonna say, do you know what this could be? Could it be dangerous? This was.
Could I do like an investigation check and see if maybe I can understand what's going on with this? Or like
Please
an
do.
arcana check?
Yeah, you can make
Investigation?
an investigation check.
Come on.
Taking a look at it, it looks like somebody set off a firework, and you can see where the wick essentially was hooked up to it, and it goes into the tube, but it doesn't make any sense as to why or
I got
how.
a 19 investigation, if that helps.
Yep, somebody definitely lit this wick from below ground.
I think I'm gonna say to Haley, go ask Kalima if there's any doors in the direction of this piece of ground. And I want to search and see if I can find out which direction they headed after setting off this firework.
Okay.
I'll go in and to Kalima, I'll say, around back there was a firework that appeared to have been set off from down below ground. Are there any kind of doors over in that direction that might lead here?
Kalima, as she mentions that to you, you had come down a few seconds before, and you came down to find that not only is the back door to the Underdark that you use as your home open, but Zaleria's body is missing. And we're going to take a smoke break.
Oh
Fucking dick.
shit! No!
Fucking
Ah!
dick.
Yikes.
So yeah, you guys go downstairs and Haley goes up and sees God damn it, Yunuka Kalima. Sees Kalima in like utter shock as the body's gone in her back. The back there's like this secret compartment door that's like completely open in the back.
I would assume not many people knew about that compartment.
Not many. Apparently some.
Yeah, Kalima's just gonna stand there and look at the door, and she'll kind of slowly look at Haley, and she'll just be like, there's not very many who know how to get that door open.
Might those people be?
Would Kalima know that, Zach?
No, not in particular. You came in the other direction. I mean, thank you, love.
Well, no. Like, would Kalima know, like, who also knows how to open that door? Okay.
Nobody that you know of other than Cole.
Yeah, Kalima's just gonna kind of shake her head. She's like, I don't know who else. I use that door all the time, but
Well, I know who the hell I'm gonna go talk to, and that's fucking Elazio, because this shit didn't start until he was appointed governor.
Let us not be too quick to point fingers. While we may not know who opened the door, we do know that there's only one way Zaleria could have been taken.
this is true.
I say we pursue with haste.
Alright.
You'll have to be
As we're
careful.
going,
It goes.
as we're through the door, or like before we go through the door, I'm gonna send another little message to Bartholomew saying there's a door in the basement in where Zaleria was. You can follow us through there.
It might be a good idea to wait for your friends. That goes directly into the Underdark. Unless you know where you're going, you'll get lost and you'll never come back out of there. And as she says this, she's going to go over to a little corner and pick up, like, her things. Like, she's got a shield and a weapon and a couple other things that she grabs.
You seem prepared enough. Perhaps you could guide us.
Well, I know these tunnels far better than anybody else out there. Well, except maybe the ghouls who live in them.
If you're willing, we'd be glad to have you.
Oddly enough, I was going to come looking for you guys not too soon after this. I have the ability to speak with the dead, and many have come to me asking me to help you. I don't know how, but that's the quest I've been given. But we should wait for your friends so that they know where we are going.
Dular is on the slab device that Zaleria was on. He's scratching away at it.
Kalima's gonna look at him and gasp and be like, how did you make him so small?
I'll pick him up and start petting him and tell him it'll be all right.
You hear, Agata hears in his head, I'm large, not small.
And you are fierce, my friend.
Thank you. Miss her.
I know. All will be well soon.
So as Bartholomew and Omega finally are able to make it back through all the huge crowd, the beggar again, like as you guys walk by, goes out to beg for you again. The minute that it sees Omega, he just kind of like and shies away. The fruit vendor's picking everything up and sees you guys, and immediately backs out of the corner. You guys come back, and you notice there's a group of enforcers that are walking away, and they spit in the general direction, and they're all laughing and keep walking. And then you go downstairs and see the rest of your party.
Turth is gonna be like, damn it, I did it again. I did it again. I did it again. And I just throw the cloak down on the ground.
This is no time. I understand your frustrations, but we must get to work. Let us proceed.
I will gladly lead the way.
I'll follow him.
Me too.
Into the catacomb, you guys go.
Yeah, Kalima is gonna cast dancing lights to light their way, since she's not sure if they all can see in the dark.
I'll also cast dancing lights as well, so we'll have like 8 little lights dancing around for light throughout the entire party to kind of spread it out.
Are you the only one that doesn't have dark vision?
No, I have dark vision.
Do you have dark vision? Who has dark vision?
I think technically we all do, but Kalima doesn't know that.
Omega and Agata.
Wait, do I have dark vision? Can't see it on my sheet.
It should be on your it should be on your senses on your left side.
It's just explaining everything.
That's strange. Dragonborn don't get dark vision, so and neither do Warforged.
It'll be under features and traits. Like
Features and traits.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Mine's under racial features, but
So
It
Kalina
looks like I don't have dark vision.
It would also be under where your passive, like your passive perception and all that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be
it doesn't
posted
have
on.
I do not have dark vision.
Yeah,
Me
Agata and Omega are pretty much blind, but Kalima casts the spell, it goes dancing against the ceiling. And Haley, looking over at her, seeing cast it as well. It's nice to have 2 spellcasters in the party that are not spellcasters. Well, sorry, I wouldn't say that. It's just nice to have multiple spellcasters as you guys continue on. Kalima knows that the first part of the catacombs is pretty dangerous. And the hardest part is you will eventually come to what's known as, after about 2 hours worth of journey, you will come across something known as the pit. The pit is where the ghouls send all of the ghouls that are famished and insane. New ghouls are very common. Ghouls that have gone under extreme starvation become incredibly feral and sometimes even eat other ghouls. They're left to a pit until they can eat one way or another to regain themselves. It's a walkway across there, and it's very dangerous. You know that's coming up first.
so as they get closer, Kalima's gonna kind of like, she seems a little nervous, and she's just gonna be like, this part up here, we call it the pit. The ghouls send the hungry and the insane here. If you fall in, there is no rescuing you. You'll be eaten before we can even try to get down to you.
Turk nods and like, how do we pass?
Just stay on the walkway. Don't look down.
I would like to consult my dagger of warning.
It's going mad.
Oh boy.
Like it's what describe your dagger of warning and its warning signs.
I just kind of imagine like the pommel on the bottom of it would kind of like pulse.
Thum, thum. Yeah, it's going thum, 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 thum.
Oh boy.
That's when you guys hear it, the sounds, and wow, and all these beasts tearing each other apart. It sounds like a horde of zombies from your favorite zombie movie.
Oh joy.
Mm,
Well, Kalima would have just avoided the area, but would she know a way around?
There is a way around, and you typically can take it when you're not in a rush. It will gain time if the individuals pass through here, which is likely. You will lose about an hour off catching them, but you can do it.
So, as they get closer, she'll be like, "There is a way around, but it'll take us far longer than if we go through the pit."
I don't think that's time we can afford.
Oh, plus Josh. We got Josh. So yeah, Egida says that, and you're all looking at each other.
I mean,
How big is the pit?
It's so the walkway is about 5 foot wide. It's about 25 deep, and if you fall off the edge, you're falling about 30 feet into a pit of ravenous ghouls.
Like, how wide is it?
The cavern itself, or the pit, or the walkway.
The walkway and the cavern.
Walkway is about 5 feet or 5 wide. The cavern itself is somewhere in the neighborhood of 60.
Okay.
Does the
I'll-
walkway go around the edge, or does it just go straight across like a bridge?
Like a bridge.
I mean, we can make it across the walkway. I don't know why we're not going across it.
like I said,
You guys
just
go
don't
across
fall
the
off.
One at a time. That way we don't put too much strain on it.
Yeah. Who's going first?
Kalima will volunteer.
Okay. You just walk across?
Yeah.
Okay. You've made this walk many, many times. Not hard. So you start walking across it, and it's careful and calm breaths, and you look down and see just white glowing eyes. Occasionally it'll look up, but most of the time it's just eyes swarming each other. You've been shown this one time by Gaul. He showed you by taking a torch and dropping it in there, and you've seen that it's just hundreds of ghouls feasting upon each other. It's a horrific sight to see how they'll rip each other apart. And you see the eyes for a brief second, you're like, it's okay, and you keep walking. And it's pretty much like it always is. As long as you take your time and you take your breath, everything's just fine. And then you step on something and you hear you smell the smell of ozone, and you look down and you see there's a small rune that's just shifting. About that time, it becomes nothing but pure ice underneath you. Make me a dexterity or an acrobatics or athletics check.
Oh God. That's a 9.
A 9. Kalima falls. You do get an opportunity to grab the edge.
She'll
This will be the fastest character in history that I've killed.
she'll grab the edge.
Okay, make me an athletics or an acrobatics check. You guys may want to give her inspiration. This will kill her character if she falls.
That's
I
a
don't have it.
15.
I can give you my inspiration.
Oh, that's much better. Hold on. I can't math that fast. 23.
23. You slip off the edge and you're like, oh shit, and you just remember seeing when Paul showed you the girls rip each other apart. You know that when you hit the ground, You're not even going to make it to the ground before they grab you out of the air and rip you apart. You do grab the edge, and it slips ever so slightly, but you swing out with the other hand and grab a hold of the spot that's not icy.
Can she pull herself up?
You can make me another. This one is an athletics check specifically.
I want to cast Firebolt to melt the ice.
13.
Phew! You will melt the ice away.
It's an 18.
You're able to lift your body back up and sit tight.
She'll pull
You
herself.
all right?
She'll pull herself up, and she's just gotta kind of like kneel, and she's just like, and she'll yell at Egida, and she'll be like, I will be. And you said the ice is melted, right?
Mhm.
Is the bridge okay aside from that?
Looks to be.
She's gonna take a moment to look and see if she can't find any more runes.
How are you going to do that?
Just look around. Like, she kind of knows what it looks like because she saw it light up.
Detect magic's really good.
I don't know if I have that.
One of you fuckers should always have detect magic prepared.
I do. Yeah, I'll detect magic.
But how would you know?
Well, I saw the frost go off.
Yeah, that's true. You spend the 10 minutes to cast detect magic, and you can see that there are 3 more rooms. Kalima has already passed across some of them, though, and they didn't seem to go off.
Huh. Okay, apparently detect magic is just not a spell I know.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It's a really good spell to have. So yeah, Haley, you look off and you see that
I'll
they're
cast Dispel Magic on them.
beautiful.
Goes Haley blowing through all of her spells.
That's what I like to hear. All right, detect magic has been cast. Dispel magic has been cast. Who's next crossing the bridge?
So I'm assuming Kalima makes it across fine after that.
Yep, the next 15 feet are easy compared to that.
Far is the bridge.
You crossing next?
How far is the bridge? Can I see across the other side of the bridge?
Yeah. You see Kalima on the other side.
I can see the other side.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a hold of Bartholomew and cast Dimension Door to the other side of the bridge,
Poof.
so that the heaviest person doesn't break the bridge. The clumsiest person doesn't fall off.
Only Omega and Egida remain on the other side of the bridge.
Kalima's gonna watch you guys appear, and she's gonna be like, "Why didn't you just do that with everyone?"
So much power!
I'm gonna usher Omega to cross the bridge, and I will make sure no enemies come up behind us.
I will cross the bridge.
It's a pretty simple endeavor to cross the bridge. You get close to those runes, and they look like they're almost phased out of existence. When you step on it, you like cringe a little bit. You're like, "Oh, this may hurt," and you step on it. Nothing seems to happen. Just a
You're
little bit-
welcome!
But that's it. The second rune, the same kind of thing. You step on it, and it's cold. You can feel it cold on your foot, but that's about it. And you continue passing through the other side.
Can a rock feel cold?
Yes.
Well, I imagine you still have magical pain receptors for temperature and whatnot. Some part of your soul does understand cold and hot. That is not a handicap. So, Egida, You remain.
Once Omega's across, I will make my way.
Okay. You go and you go across and you hear the sound of the beast underneath you. For a brief second, you swear you see a glint in the distance.
A glint?
Like some kind of light just in the distance. Far off to the right side.
Okay.
Continue.
What else am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
Just
play
make
it.
a jump for this glint? Like I got distracted by something shiny?
Just saying. Players do player things, man. You just explain to me what you do. I'm just saying.
I'll take note of it and continue crossing the bridge. That's my number one priority right now.
Getting across the other side is easy as pie.
Okay. Once I get to the other side, I want to cast Detect Magic.
You cast Detect Magic and you focus in on it. Do you do it as a ritual?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see the two runes are glowing. You look off towards the glint. You don't see anything glowing there as far as that's concerned. But when you focus on it, like looking over at it, you can see that it's glint from the dancing lights seem to have reflected off of some kind of a glossy surface. Something pretty simple, but it could have been more. But now you see it and it's fine.
I'll ask Kalima, have you ever seen that before?
Has she? I don't even know what it is.
A glint in the distance? No, Polina has never seen that before.
There's rarely actual light down here, so
About how far away is it, and about how big is it? The
Mm,
object.
The object would be probably about foot size and square foot in size. Distance away would be 60.
there are natural crystal formations down here. It could just be one of those.
I'm gonna cast Catapult on it.
You try to focus on that area and you suddenly it rips towards you. Now do bear in mind that catapult means you take an object and move it to another area to do damage, so you may wish to do it against like a wall? Question
Yeah.
mark? Okay.
I can do it against a wall.
When it's smashed against the wall, it's just a couple crystals, quartz specifically.
Okay. I'll put him in my bag.
Okay. You put the quartz in your bag. It's larger gems, about this big, after it's shattered. You're able to place them in your bag.
Okay.
So continuing through the Underdark. You guys eventually, as you're creeping on through, you don't hear or see anything for like the longest time. It's fairly quiet in this area. Suddenly you guys start hearing one. If I were given my chance at it, I would have a way with that body, if you know what I mean. And then you hear the other guy, huh? That's absolutely sick. I can't believe you would say that. Then the first guy says, well, you know what I'm saying. It's good, not moving, can go through and just give it a little couple feels, see what I'm saying? And then the other one's like, again, you shouldn't say those things. Velocity would be pissed.
Kalima's currently getting very pissed, and like she's just gonna start heading towards
Far in
the
distance
voice.
that we can hear this.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Distance that we can hear this.
Yeah.
She's gonna hear that Alania will be pissed, and she's gonna come up and I'm gonna send message to them saying send a message to them saying you better Lazio will be pissed if you do anything to that body. And if you do anything to that body, I will be pissed too.
Kalima's just going straight towards the voices. Like, she's almost marching towards them. She has her shield in hand, she has her mace in hand, she's ready to fuck somebody up.
But essentially, you don't know where I'm at, but I hear you about talking about this body, and if you do anything with it, I'ma fuck you up.
The individuals by torchlight, all of a sudden you see their silhouettes just kind of stop and look all around, and you guys see Kalima just starts taking off for that area.
I'm gonna follow Kalima.
Me
Try to keep
too.
pace
Me
with
too.
her.
She's
I
not
want
really.
to try to calm her down, but I also don't want to make any noise.
She's not really like running. She's kind of at a trot. She's at a very fast walk.
You're power walking.
Yeah.
I'm going to go speak to the manager now.
Like Karen.
Almost, not quite.
You hear the voice say, "Oh, I only gave it a little feel, is all. It was harmless, really." And you turn the corner and you see a very bulbous-looking man in an enforcer outfit, and a very skinny man in an enforcer outfit. Both of them have the torches going full on. They have their weapons drawn when you turn the corner, and they look panicked.
Are they? How are they holding the body? Are they dragging it? Are they?
Body doesn't appear to be around here.
She's gonna kind of look around and she's gonna be like, "What'd you do with Zaleria?"
We. Hey, who are you?
She's gonna use her shield and slam the guy into the wall. And she'll be like, "It doesn't matter. Where's the body?"
Okay, make me a athletics check.
Oh, jeez. That's a 10.
Well, you beat his 7, so you slam him up against the wall. The little guy immediately grabs his pistol with both hands and it's shaking, and he points at you. Hey, get away from him! You can't do this. We're enforcers.
I'm gonna walk up to him and just
I was
put
gonna
my
say,
hand on the gun and push it down,
I just-
lower it, and say, "Tell us what we want to know, and this won't get violent."
You hear the one guy starts laughing. You're upset that your friend is gone? My friends are taking real good care of her right now.
I'm upset that you stole a body during the middle of a ritual. Where is she?
He smiles and you look and you notice many of his teeth are browned and rotted away, and he goes, "It's not."
Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty.
Omega learned polymorph.
They landed great inspiration. That was good. That was the craziest. He says, he smiles with his brown, rotted teeth, and his breath is just rank with the rot that's in his mouth. And he says, "It wouldn't be the first time I took the body."
She's gonna glare at him and she's gonna be like, "Tell me and I won't knock out your pretty little teeth."
He says, "My friends continued down the way. They told me to stand behind and keep you occupied."
She'll kind of nod and she'll be like, "Which way?"
He nods to the left to go down the corridor.
How
He
far?
looks enough to take care of. Shouldn't take too long. We could go him down into the pit with those fucking.
Tirth will interrupt and be like, "No, we just need to get the body. We need to get Zaleria."
I
These
think
guys
they've
are-
occupied us long enough.
Everyone make me a perception check.
Kalima really likes the idea of throwing them into the pit. Ooh, damn, that was good. What'd you say? Perception?
Yes.
Can I
roll
use my passive?
Yeah, what's your passive?
21.
I got a 25.
Egada?
13.
I put it in chat. I got a 12.
I got a 26.
Everybody but Egida,
Perception is a
because
20.
Egida is too introspective apparently to ever notice anything. No, like, you have a good perception. I don't know how you keep getting these rolls for it, man. I'm sorry.
No, I have shit perception. My perception is +1.
Oh. Wrong character.
For
Shit.
some reason, I'm just not proficient in perception.
Egida just be like more into the moment and everything else. Everyone else notices the parapet of healing that Marzio gave her. He has it shoved in his trousers.
Pants.
You what?
Haley will grab it out of his pants.
You
Grab his dick and twist it.
Yes!
You'll get twist.
I kind of want the costume.
Yes.
Good old dick twist.
The necklace itself is kind of like wrapped around something, like it's tangled on something, and like when she pulls,
Please tell me it fails. Please tell me you fail at this.
The
I'm going to
necklace
grab
was a necklace. This was a parapet that he had made into a necklace. It's absolutely beautiful. Its chain is now stained with red and some brown. When you yank it out of his pants, he makes an incredible screaming sound before he falls to the ground.
good, I'll punch him in the face at the same time.
It's like hitting a sack of it's hitting like a dead pig. Like it's just all that dead weight and just clock. 1 point of damage.
Haley's got some rage.
I look at Omega and I'm like, eunuchs they are.
What?
I say eunuchs they are. Remember the kid we chased down? I'm like, are you a eunuch? Like you're with no.
Oh my god.
Okay. So she grabs that from him. You're not worth my time. Let's go find Zaleria.
You guys go on past.
And as we move on, I press digitate his torch out.
All of a sudden it's dark and you hear, oh, he's screaming in pain. The other guy's like, oh, wait, no, you can't leave us here in the dark. And you hear in the background that,
Bye-bye.
Good luck!
You guys will make a
Can I-
wonderful snack for the ghouls.
Like a super quick perception check and or investigation check to make sure that he doesn't have any like healing potions or anything around.
you can investigate, but it requires you patting him down and everything before you leave.
Sure.
Okay, make me an investigation check.
Shit rolls tonight.
What?
13.
13. So with a 13, you can find her medicine kit as well as a lot of gear has been on this guy. But you sit there looking at her medicine kit, remember all the times that it's got like blood stains on the side of it that never really came out for times that she opened it and kept people from dying.
I remember that most of those bloodstains were probably from me, and I very lovingly store her medicine kit in my bag as well as her gear, and punch the dude in the face again and say, "That's what you get for stealing from a corpse."
Whack! She clocked across the face.
Kalima's gonna nod approvingly. She'll be like, I like this one.
Okay.
And on
So-
the one that didn't get his dick sliced to ribbons by the necklace,
Yeah.
the other one,
Yeah,
the wimpy one,
yeah.
I'm gonna cast command on him.
What are you going... Okay, first off, what is the DC?
15 wisdom save.
Oh.
God damn it.
You go and you look and you tell me your command.
Stay.
You what?
Stay. I
Um,
only get one word, so
you say stay. As you cast the spell and you look, you don't feel it take hold in particular. Make me an intimidation check.
Can Turth help with that?
You may certainly give him advantage, yes.
it's gonna be a 22.
So
Fuck you, advantage.
it looks like the spell is like doesn't take hold, but as he's sitting there and he's just kind of shaking because you have your hand on his gun, you just see the shaking that goes on, and he just nods to you. Yes, yes, okay.
I would
I'll turn to
imagine.
everyone else.
I would
Go
imagine
ahead.
the way I gave the advantage would be like he said stay when he said the command stay. Turth is just gonna step up right next to Egida and look down. Like, be a good idea.
He said stay.
It's called
Then
a
Just
I'll turn to
for
everyone
that.
else and say,
I felt I needed to role play how I gave him the advantage.
No, I love
Yeah.
it what you're doing.
and then I'll turn to everyone else and say, let's continue.
Let's go.
Kalima will just lead the way, wherever they were going. I don't know.
Awesome. Yeah, you continue on. So let's see. It is late, and we should wrap it up, but I'm going to describe the scene if you guys will look to your game board real quick. The next part is the hardest part because it goes pretty south from here as you guys go into the Underdark. There's a small section that opens up that is a bridge, another bridge, but this one comes above a bunch of magma. When you guys get onto the set, you guys will notice that Kalima's body,
Zaleria's body.
Zaleria's body, Kalima's body is going to be at the bottom of this lava soon. Um,
Rude.
it looks to be 20 enforcers all carrying the body across a couple planks of wood. They turn and they see you, and they immediately kick the group in the front. One of the guys looks back and kicks the planks of wood into the lava. The other ones kind of sit there and look kind of panicked behind as you guys all approach. And you see them carrying the body away. So, as you all sit there and take a look before we roll initiative, this is what you guys will see.
Fucking assholes.
Any action?
So they carry a plank of wood right here.
Right here, there was. I can't. Oh my god. Yes, I couldn't click it.
You're good. Right there, though.
Yep.
Sorry.
You guys all see Zaleria's body?
Yep.
So,
Damn.
so you guys come across, and like I said, you see 20 enforcers all standing there, all ex-members of the various gangs that you see. You see some are Skull Anvils, some are Shankill Slaughterers, a couple of them were Bloodbathers, and some of them even seem to be Breaker Witch Coven. All broke off to be part of this higher than a constable kind of thing. There are a whole bunch of cutthroats, people who are so vile they won't even stay with their own gang. And as they see you guys, and they cast the wood in the back to keep you guys from clearing the rest of it, as they have Zaleria's body. As you all sit there and look over it and feel the immense heat from the lava. That's where I'm going to end tonight.
Meh.
Damn.
On a side note, did I just get one piece of quartz or did I get several when it shattered?
Several pieces of quartz.
How many?
You're looking at five pieces of quartz,
Sweet.
each worth a gold piece.
Well, only one gold piece?
Yep, 5 gold pieces total.
Still 5 gold pieces.
Yeah, D&D Beyond says it's
Quartz
worth it says a piece is worth 50.
Yeah, that's for a lot of pieces of quartz, of course. I'll go ahead and give you the 50. How about that?
You what?
You can go ahead and have them at 50 total.
50 total, so 10 each.
Yeah.
All right, let's say
So-
goodbye to stream real quick.
Bye, stream. Thanks for following us on YouTube. Thanks for following us in person.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook. Everything's in the down below. There we go.
Descriptions below.
Yeah.
Diamonds, guys.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye.